Well, with all the attention on the Subway Series and the Stanley Cup playoffs, we don't want you to forget what we're seeing out of the Red Bulls in the MLS right now, and we are joined to talk about that with the captain of the Red Bulls, Dax Mccarty. How's that sound, captain?
Sounds pretty cool. Sounds pretty cool. Definitely an honor.
Yeah, it is. You are one of the captains. You are the captain, I should say. One of the captains of New York, which is a topic I'm going to be bringing up in a little bit. But here we are, a month into the season, and you guys are still undefeated. What a great start.
Yeah, it has been. And I think we caught a lot of people by surprise, actually, by that. But if I'm being honest, I don't think we're all that surprised by it. All the great work that our coaching staff did in preseason, some of the great players that they brought in. We had a real belief about us early in the season and even before the season started that we could do something special with this team, and we're happy to be off to a good start. We haven't won anything yet, so we're not getting too far ahead of ourselves, but we're definitely happy with how we started.
But it was a little bit of a surprise, at least to everybody on the outside, because when you see from the outside, you lose Thierry Henry, Cahill is gone, you lose the coach, Mccarty, who had led you to back-to-back playoffs, and you bring in Jesse Marsch. It just seemed like this was going to be the year where things were going to maybe fall off. It was about rebuilding.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, today in the New York Times, Christian Dyer even wrote this, saying that things became so bad early on that in a town hall meeting 10 days after the coaching change, it was remembered for the supporters screaming insults at everybody.
And I heard about it. And let me just say, I'm glad I wasn't there. Heard it was very tense moments. But I think that's good. I think that shows the passion of our fans. I think that shows how much they're invested and how much they care. But I also think it shows how important our fan base is to everyone in the front office, because they took the time to be there. They took the time to answer questions. And you know, from their perspective, they were just trying to show people, hey, we realize you guys are upset, but give us a chance.
Well, I mean, nobody's calling for Jesse Marsch's head right now. I mean, you guys are playing this aggressive style, forcing turnovers at a higher rate than any team in the MLS. You're not only winning, but you're more entertaining as well with Jesse's style, it feels like.
Yeah, well, I think the best way to describe it is that we're certainly more high energy. And I think the way that you win in this league is to kind of, you know, make teams uncomfortable and do things that other teams don't do so well. So the first thing Jesse said to us when he came in he goes, you guys, we're getting younger and we're going to run. We're going to run a lot, and I think it's going to help us not only on the defensive side of the ball, but also attacking-wise. And so for me, it's already been 5 games, but we've already been able to see the fruits of kind of that labor and the rewards that the pressure system has in store for us.
Well, we love labels here in New York. We love monikers. I mean, Murderers Row, the New York Sack Exchange. Do you guys who are turning the ball over so much at midfield, do you guys want to put together some sort of a moniker for yourselves?
I think we need to. I think we need to come up with one. I'm not going to come up with it by myself.
I was going to throw something against the wall, but I would rather you just come up with something.
You know what? I'm going to confer with my midfield buddies.
Right. Have like a little council.
Yeah, we're going to have a little council and come up with a really intimidating nickname for ourselves.
Well, tomorrow's going to be a big game. You play the Galaxy, the defending champions. You lead the league in points per game. The Galaxy are a little off right now. You feel like you're kind of catching them at the right time?
I guess you could say that, but I also think that the LA Galaxy have been kind of the standard in MLS for the past 5 or 6 years, and they have been for a reason. They're extremely well coached. They have a lot of very talented players. Obviously, Robbie Keane, I don't think will be playing in this game, and he was the MVP of the MLS last year, one of the best players in the league. So I guess you could say we're catching him at the right time because he won't be available. But with that being said, they have 2 or 3 other guys that can step up and play a very important role for them. So we're not going to take them lightly. We know that they're going to come in here and try to get 3 points on our home field, but obviously, whenever we're at home, we always expect to win, and tomorrow's going to be no different.
Special game because some of the proceeds will be going to the Erica Grant Foundation. He came by this week as well. What were your thoughts when you had a chance to sit down and chat with him?
Just a truly remarkable man and a human being. Eric is someone that I really admire and I really look up to, and he's a guy that he spoke with us for about 20 minutes. And in those 20 minutes, you know, you wanted to laugh, you wanted to cry, you know, you wanted to console him because the guy's been through so much, but his attitude and his positive outlook on life after such a traumatic experience is something that I think our whole team learned from. When moments aren't going so well, when things are going bad, you know, you always have to have a positive outlook, and that's something that he's taught us, and that's something that I really admire in him.
Yeah, embracing that wave of positivity.
Absolutely.
And it just kind of tends to seep into the fabric of the team,
Well, it's infectious, and I think that's the one thing that you saw in that meeting with him is that his attitude and his outlook on life ever since something so horrible has happened to him has been unbelievable. And he looks at it like, well, you know, I still get to wake up and breathe every day and prove all my doctors wrong. And my ultimate goal is to be able to walk. And I'm certainly not going to bet against him.
Do you feel like you guys are going to have a rivalry with NYCFC?
I certainly hope so. You know, that's a pretty interesting topic of conversation. I really hope we do form a good rivalry with them. I think right now it's way too early to tell. We haven't even stepped on the field and played against them. But with everything that they're putting into the organization, with them being another team in New York, I think that a rivalry will eventually form, and I hope it forms organically on the field. You want it to be high intensity. You know, you want it to be very not crazy, but you want some things to happen on the field that says, all right, these teams actually really don't like each other because they're battling for bragging rights in New York City. So obviously, until that happens, we're just going to wait, and we'll be able to hate DC a little bit more.
Right now, it's just fan-created at this point.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. All right. I asked you earlier about being a captain, so I want to ask you, who is the captain of New York? Now that Derek Jeter is no longer the big-name captain here in New York, of all the captains, of all the teams, who's the captain of New York?
Who's the captain of New York?
Let's see.
I'm gonna, yeah.
Tavares, McDonough, Eli Manning, David Wright.
Well, I think
you.
I think it would only be fair to say Eli Manning. I mean, the guy's won 2 Super Bowls, and that's something that's very admirable and something that not many other people on this planet have been able to do. So until I win 2 MLS Cups, I'm just going to give that moniker to Eli for now.
All right. Now, if final question here, if we call soccer football, like everybody else in the world does, what do we need to call American football?
My favorite one is egg ball. Yeah, I think we should call it egg ball. Football shaped like an egg. Should we call it egg ball?
Okay, not like smashy chess or something like that.
No, egg ball. Perfect.
Okay. Egg ball.
Sorry, American
I don't know where
fans.
we go with that. All right, New York Red Bulls captain Dax Mccarty. Great seeing you again, man.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.